Hello folks and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party, and let's try Mark of the Old Ones. This game is by Hit the Sticks. There is a Kickstarter going on right now. The goal is $225,000. It ends on November 5th, 2013. If you go into the $10 tier or higher, you do get a digital copy of the game. Currently it is planned to be episodic with up to 4 chapters, the number of chapters depending on how many, if any, of these stretch goals that they hit. It is important to note that if you put in $10 or more and they end up making, let's say, 2 chapters based on their funding from the Kickstarter, you will actually get access to both chapters, but the Kickstarter is for the first chapter. It's also on Steam Greenlight, and there is also a tech demo, which is what I'm playing right now. I will be putting a link to all of that in the description below the video. Now, before we get started, or before you try the demo, it's important to note this is a tech demo. It is more of a proof of concept than anything else. The art is absolutely not finished. A lot of the other things are not finished, and you'll definitely understand why I'm pointing this out when we get started here. So please keep in mind, this is just a tech demo to show you how the basic mechanics work, because it is quite unique. Let's go ahead and get started, and we'll choose the first level. I don't know why the text is all garbled. Again, early tech demo, not too worried about it. So the story in a nutshell here is that you are you were in the military at some point. Long story short, you got in a crash somewhere where it was snowy, and you lost a leg, ran into this strange demon who has attached itself to your spine, and now you have no use of your legs. However, you can use the alien or demon or whatever it is, appendages to move around. Now, I'm using a controller right now. You do have to use a controller in order to play this at all. I also apologize about the flickering. That is not the game. It doesn't normally happen. It's only started happening since I started recording. But as you can see, you do have momentum. The developers actually describe this as a Metroidvania upside-down physics platformer. I think we're running out of new and creative ways to identify our indie games. But I would say this one's actually pretty accurate. At first I was like, upside-down platformer? That doesn't make sense. It's like, is everything just upside down? But I think you can kind of start to see why it is upside down. So how am I controlling this? Let's go ahead and stop right here, and I'll show you how I do. Now, you'll notice that when I'm... Oops, let's do this. I'm trying to get out of the way here. When I'm moving my analog stick to get this red line that comes out, that is how far my arm can reach. And if I run that into a contact point, say the ground here, my arm will shoot out and grab it. And you control each arm individually, so you use both your analog sticks. So as you can see, I can use both my legs to hold myself here. Not much of a reason to do that right now, but I'm sure it'll come into play later. And of course, you use physics to kind of float over. Like, I want to avoid this fire. So while I'm swinging, I can move the analog stick, so I can try to move more left. I could try to move a little bit more up, or in this case, I want to move more to the right. This is a little tricky here. Let's see if I can get it right. Luckily, they're pretty generous with at least the tech demo waypoints. So we got that. Let's go ahead and continue on the way over. I also found out very quickly that it's much easier to traverse the ceiling than it is the floor, just based on how your new limbs are placed. As you can see, I'm pretty aptly walking across here. One thing I've got to say is, oops, I say that and then fall to my death. One thing I've got to say is I like this idea. I like the idea of the tentacles and using those for locomotion. It's almost like you are Dr. Octopus and you've been in a terrible, terrible accident. And now you only have 2 limbs, well, 2 of your extra limbs to move yourself around. It also reminds me of the spider villain from City of Heroes, if anybody else knows about that. Now, you saw that little explosion that popped up. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. They saw that little explosion that popped up. You have a few special abilities that this demon gives you other than these really nifty legs. Wow, I have never had this much trouble with this. The first one is a boost. At the top right, you'll see that I've got that red bar. That shows how many times I can boost. So when I boost, it uses up that bar, but it shoots me up. That's quite handy sometimes, as you can imagine. But it doesn't replenish until you die. Again, this may or may not, and maybe probably will, change once they get further into development. The blue bar on the left that indicates how much time slowdown I've got. So let's say I need to slow down time. So let's slow down time. You can see I'm going much slower. Can't grab it, so I'm going to let go of the time slowdown, whatever the heck it's called. But you'll see the blue actually comes back. So you can keep using the time slowdown, but unfortunately, again, it makes it flash even more than it is now, which I'm pretty sure mostly is me recording. Oh, okay, I can't hit the circle either. And like I said before, and this is important to note, once you start to get the hang of the movement, and once you start pulling off, like even mundane things, like just like crawling down this corridor like this, it starts to feel good if you don't run into things. Like it feels really smooth. Like, oh yeah, like I'm moving, I'm using my momentum, I'm timing my tentacle grabs at the right time. It just feels really good, and I could see once you get the hang of it and start seeing some of the more difficult puzzles, I could see that being very, very satisfying. We finished that stage. Let's try part of another stage. There's quite a few stages in here. I think this one's pretty decent for showing things off as well. Last time I had some issues getting over here because you do need some good momentum to get over this hump. So I'll try to go back, and then the swinging mechanics, again, a little bit weird. Part of it could be me trying to learn how to do it, and part of it is, again, it not being finalized. So let's use that. Oh, nope. Come on, we can do it. Oh, so again, it does take some getting used to. When I first played, it was really bad. I had no idea what I was doing. All right, let's swing back, and let's. Oh yeah, there we go. Much better. But yeah, I'm really liking the movement. I really think there's a lot of potential here for interest. I don't know what it is. It makes it's almost honestly like a superhero feel. It's almost like you're playing as Spider-Man and you're just flying through and using your webs. I don't know why it makes me think of Spider-Man in particular. Again, it's more like Dr. Octopus, where he's using his extra arms to grab onto things and pull himself around and finally beat that Peter Parker. So again, here you can see you could use this thing to kind of propel you up. I could have also did the blast there, which actually I should have done. Let's see if it'll go around. This one's movement is a little sporadic. My other arm is just kind of wailing around, just randomly waving around. Wow, I don't know why that was so difficult. Come on, extra little boost. There we go to get us over. And again, it's very little simple things that make this feel very satisfying. When you start timing your grabs and your swings, and you're predicting your momentum, and you're predicting when you should grab, and it actually all works out. Just feels really nice, and I could see some really, really cool applications of this. Now, these are air vents. So right now, since we want to go right, we don't want to fall in there because it'll just push us out. So we want to try to get through here. And I'm only going to play about another minute or two. I think you guys have got the idea. Again, if you want to try it out, you of course can. There is the demo, which I will have linked in the description below. And you can make sure to check it out. Oh, I don't want to fall down there. There we go. We want to get to the left here. But yeah, not much else to say. I will say that they are going more the horror route. Like, I don't necessarily think this is going to be a scary game, but more creepy, maybe kind of a little bit Lovecraftian, a little bit. So I like the overall feel. And you can tell from the music too, it's supposed to be kind of creepy. Obviously, though, this in itself isn't creepy. It's just a bunch of circles and lines and squiggles. But yeah, I think you guys get the idea of how this works. I'll have links below to the Kickstarter, to the green light, all of that below, and the demo as well if you want to check it out for yourself. If you like it, or if you know some folks who would like it, link this to them, link the Kickstarter or my video, hint. If you want them to check it out, see if it's something that they would be interested in. Let's see if we can't get this kick started. As always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave comments in the comment section below. If you tried this game out, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you thought of this video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more indie games like this displayed. And I will see you next time.